What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back here to bring you guys my watch list for this upcoming trading week. Of course, we're going to make it another great trading week, just like last week. And this week, we've got stocks like Apple, Meta, AMD, Tesla on watch. Now, it's going to be a similar story, a similar theme to last week where we looked at the puts. And as you guys saw, I had an 11K week. So that's one of my best weeks in a long time. It's my best week of 2023. And the idea is to keep the ball rolling this week. So I'm going to jump over to CNBC, show you guys a few different stocks which are headlining right now and kind of giving us an idea of how the market sentiment is. Also, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this video. Also, drop a thumbs up if you guys didn't enjoy this video. It does help me in the YouTube algorithm. And like I said, look at the sentiment. NASDAQ falls a fourth day in a row, notches the longest weekly losing streak since December. So it's the worst weekly losing streak of this year, and just happened to be my best week. So as you see, NASDAQ, when the NASDAQ drops, a lot of the tech stocks drop. Tesla, Netflix, AMD, NVDA, a lot of those start to drop. Also, you can see here, it says China's property giant Evergrande files for bankruptcy protection. That's going to have an effect on our Chinese stocks like Alibaba, JD, Baidu, a couple others as well. So we'll look into that as well. And then you can also see it says Bitcoin had a big drop late last week. And it tells you, here's why it sparked it. You can go read that article in your own time. But those are the kind of things that we do look at when it comes to stocks and market sentiment ahead of an upcoming trading week. So let's jump over to Trading View and look at my first stock to watch for this week. Now, I do want to remind you, there are a lot of stocks which trade in specific ranges like Netflix, like Nike, like Apple, and you do need to watch out for that. When a stock does trade in that kind of range, like I said, Apple, for example, make sure you take that into consideration and trade that stock in that range. So, for example, Apple here. Apple is currently sitting around 174. You see, I've got two lines here, which you need to take note of. The blue line, which is the support, and the red line, which is the resistance, also a previous support. So why am I highlighting this out? Because I'm expecting Apple to trade in this kind of range. So between these two, the 172 and 176. Right now, we just closed, in between the range. And now I'm intrigued. If it does bounce here at where my support is, I expect an uptrend to around 176, so a $4 gain. If it breaks below now, it could drop all the way down to the 200 moving average, which could be a $4 drop, some chance to make money on the puts. So like I said, just watch out for it to change it, trade in that range. I mean, I'm expecting it to really push up to this level, and then we'll see what happens there. But you've got to be prepared for it to trade either way. If it breaks down, watch it trade to that moving average or even to that next line of support around 167. And for those of you who are worried about what's happening right now with Apple, if you're invested, always zoom out. Remember, Apple's still a big time market leader in terms of market capitalization, in terms of everything they're doing. As you can see, Apple products are all over the world. Apple products are continuing to get sold, and they're still going to be a huge leader in the market going, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as they have been doing over the last 20 years. As I said, zoom out. This could be a nice buying opportunity for those of you looking long term. We were almost at $200 a couple months ago. So do watch out for Apple. Again, could be puts, could be calls, but I'm expecting it to trade in between that range that I've got there, between the blue and the red line. Now let's jump over to another big market leader, Meta, ticker symbol META, which used to be known as Facebook. So here we have Meta stock. Also, look, zoom out. We've had a huge uptrend for 7, 8, 9 months straight. A pullback was expected. But looking at Meta for this week, look where it's trading right now. Looks to have wicked off my line right there, around 274. That's my line of support. Again, a lot of these stocks trade in between specific ranges, those price points. We'll obviously see how it pans out in this upcoming trading week, but I'm expecting it to drop at least down to that 275 level. So that's another $7, $8 drop for Meta. Last week, we dropped around $20, $22. It was a bad week for Meta, just like many other stocks. So if you look at the weekly candle, yep, there it is. And the weekly candle actually wicked off my levels to the upside and downside. That is something to note. So you can see that my levels there are on point. Now, when we want a stock to short, we've just looked at some puts, we want a stock to short, Alibaba always comes to mind. And when you take a look at Alibaba, you can also take a look at JD. You can also take a look at Baidu. There are a few different stocks you can look at, but in this case, let's look at Alibaba. So we're at $88. Clearly, all the moving averages pointing to the downside, bearish signs. Clearly, this stock has been on a red run. I mean, 5 days straight of just blood, straight blood. And then, okay, a green day, at the end of last week. But honestly, I see further downside with this. It looks like that $84 level is our next level for Alibaba. And that's not even a certain, strong level. It could still drop to previous support really around $82.99. So around $83. Again, let me put that on the chart for you right there. Another $5 drop on the way. Alibaba is looking good for puts. And as I said, when you look at Alibaba for puts, you can also short JD. JD even looks like a better short right now than Alibaba. Look at that gap down just after earnings. Crazy wicks on this tiny candle here. So yeah, JD is also on for puts, possibly down to that $30 level, $31 level. And as I said, you can also look at Baidu as well. Now, when we're talking about stocks which are looking weak, we've got to add Tesla in there as well. Tesla looking extremely weak recently, now trending below all three moving averages, the 9, the 21, and the 200. And as you've noticed, tech stocks are starting to underperform. So that's NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, many others. They're starting to underperform. And as they underperform, they continue selling off. This looks clearly bearish. If we look at the weekly candles, shows you even more. Look at that. Straight down. Weekly candles straight down. Daily candles straight down. 4-hour chart. I think you're starting to understand the pattern. 4-hour chart, similar story. 1-hour chart, similar story. 4-hour chart, we pushed up to the moving average. Might get rejected. But my price target for this one is going to be that 210 and eventually that 200 level. That's what I'm really looking at. So if we zoom out a little bit, that's that 200 level right here. That's what I'm looking at really for this Tesla. It's weak. It's not showing any signs of strength and it's breaking down. It's lost almost 30% of its value in around a month period. Let me show you the monthly chart. Look at that. At the beginning of the month, we were around 266. At the beginning of last month, we were around 295. We've lost around 30% of its market, of its share price within a month. So, as I mentioned before, we're at 215. Next stop is maybe 211, 210, and then all the way to 200. So Tesla puts on the card as well. As I mentioned, tech. Let me quickly touch on NVIDIA as well. This one has earnings on the 22nd. So that is Wednesday. The 23rd. Okay, Wednesday. So I'm not really going to touch NVIDIA. I'm more just intrigued to see how it kind of plays up in the run up to earnings. Last earnings, they killed it and it gapped up. This earnings, we're expecting them to beat as well. So maybe the downtrend isn't quite there for NVIDIA, but instead you can look at AMD. This is more bearish than NVIDIA right now. Last earnings, it also gapped up. Well, last NVIDIA earnings, it also gapped up. This earnings, it didn't really do a lot. You just see a huge red candle, but it was a bit of weird movement, weird price action. Now, though, it's starting to downtrend. Maybe we'll bounce around that 200 moving average, around $98.55. But I'm intrigued to just see how this performs. I'll probably trade this and NVIDIA after the earnings, depending on how NVIDIA earnings plays out. It's usually easier to play the continuation in these circumstances. So after earnings, I'll probably tap in and see if I can make any trades. But if I can, I'll definitely get in on the puts if it's having a really bad day, let's say tomorrow, and I can just make a quick day trade or a scalp, then I'll go for it. But like I said, I'm more likely to trade this after the earnings. Now, we've talked a lot about the stocks which are underperforming and selling off. Let's talk about a couple which are outperforming the market right now. We're going to start with one of my favorite stocks, obviously ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM. So here we are. Look at this beautiful chart. Just starting to break up out of that little range in between the moving averages to the upside. My price target for this is that 114 level. And then we're going to go up to 119 eventually. That's the plan for August. So that 119 eventually. 114 is the next price target up here. We're at $110 now. We missed the great entry, but I think some people in Discord actually caught it. So well done to you guys. But yeah, that right here is a great entry for the push to the upside. Now it's going to pull back a little bit along the way. But that's no problem. We're used to that. As I said, it's still a $4 gain for ExxonMobil. And obviously we're going to look at CVX, Chevron, another one in this sector. Similar story, but this one is starting to just finally break above the moving averages. Not as clear as Exxon, but you can see it closed below a couple times, and now it's starting to break out above, just above that 200. We got that nice close Friday, which is a good bullish sign. Now we're looking to break above and push onwards and upwards. And let's also look at Oxy. Similar story. There you go. Marathon Oil Company, another one in the same sector. Similar story. There you go. Finally got that close above the moving averages after trending in that range in between for a few days. Now, lastly, I want to look at Microsoft. I'm going to talk about crypto in the group, so come join the Discord so I can talk about crypto to you. Microsoft on the downtrend, clearly bearish, below the 9 and 21 moving averages, making lower highs and lower lows. I'm watching this one for puts. The level really to watch is that 312 level, so a $4 drop for Microsoft. As you can see, we peaked back in July, and since then we've just started selling off, so about a month straight of sell-off now. As I mentioned, if you want to see the cryptos plays, come to check out the Discord. I'll talk about it there. You've got stocks like Mara, Riot, which, as I mentioned, I'm not going to break down right now, but we'll be breaking down in the Discord. There you can see it. You're getting an indication of what's going to potentially pan out this week. Right, as well. It should be obvious, but like I said, the breakdown will be in the Discord. And guys, we want to make this week as great as it was last week. Last week, Netflix was the hero of the week, probably the play of the year, definitely the month at least. Honestly, there are more opportunities like this in the market. And if you want to find more opportunities like this, come check out the Discord, the Royal Trading Academy, links in the description below. There I'm going to talk to you guys about the earnings, about what kind of stocks to watch, all that kind of stuff. And of course, we've got the chart breakdowns. We talk there, we live trade there, everything's in there. Also, check out the Stock Option Starter Pack. That is a group of 10 videos, a bunch of videos you can keep for life, which I've created to teach you how to trade, to help you when it comes to what to look for in a trade, all that good stuff. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, drop a thumbs up, help us out on this channel, subscribe if you're new around here, hit the like button, make sure to comment as well, and also share with your friends. Just share these across social media. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. It does help me in great ways. So that's it for me, guys. Follow me on all social media at The Wealth Prince, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Thanks for watching. I go into making, you go into making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.
Game over.